Have you ever wondered how a family secret can change your life forever? Picture a woman, blissfully unaware of the complex tapestry of her life, woven with threads of hidden truths. Her childhood was one painted with love and warmth, where her father was her hero, her protector. Yet as she grew older, the colors of this perfect portrait began to fade, revealing a canvas that was not as it seemed. Curiosity, as they say, is a powerful force. It nudges us towards the unknown, pushing us to uncover what's hidden beneath the surface. For our protagonist, this curiosity was sparked by a simple DNA test. A journey into her ancestry, she thought, would validate her roots, affirm her lineage. But instead it presented her with a puzzle. As she delved deeper into her genetic history, she noticed a strange anomaly. Her DNA didn't seem to match with anyone from her father's side of the family. It was like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. The pieces of her genetic puzzle refused to align with the picture she had always known. Her father's family tree, once a symbol of her heritage, now appeared foreign. It was as if she was looking at a map where she didn't belong, where her existence seemed to be an error, a glitch in the matrix of her lineage. Deciding to dig deeper, she continued her search, driven by a growing suspicion. She was like a detective, hot on the trail of her own life's mystery. Each clue she uncovered, each connection she made, brought her closer to the truth. A truth that was shadowed by a name she didn't recognize, a name that was not her father's. And then, a different last name kept popping up, a name she didn't recognize, a name that would soon unravel the threads of her life, leading her down a path of shocking revelations, heartbreak, and ultimately, self-discovery. What if the man you've always known as your father isn't really your biological father? This is the startling reality that our protagonist had to face. The roots of her existence, the narrative of her life, all began to unravel when she stumbled upon an unfamiliar last name in her ancestry research. A name that didn't align with her father's lineage, but instead pointed towards a hidden past. A past her mother had carefully concealed for over 4 decades. Imagine the confusion, the heartache, learning that the woman who gave you life, your beacon of truth, had been harboring a dark secret. A secret that revolved around a man caught in the throes of drug addiction. A man who was not only married but also the biological father of her child. In a world that was far from perfect, her mother had made a choice, a desperate decision. She chose stability over passion, safety over uncertainty. She chose to marry a different man, a man who would unknowingly raise another man's child as his own. The revelation was like a punch to the gut. The man she had called dad for 40 years, the man who had raised her, loved her, was not her biological father. The man who was but a shadow in her mother's past, a ghost in her DNA, a man she would never get to meet, for he was no longer among the living. A secret kept for 40 years, a truth that shattered her world. What happens when the truth is far from the reality you've known all your life? Imagine living 4 decades under a comforting illusion, only to have it shattered in an instant. This is the emotional quagmire our protagonist finds herself in. Confronting the truth about her biological father spirals her into a vortex of emotions. She grapples with a sense of betrayal, her trust in her mother and the man she's known as her father now fractured. She feels a deep sense of loss, mourning the relationship she could have had with her biological father, who is no more. As she navigates through this labyrinth of emotions, she also battles internal conflict, a war within herself. She struggles to reconcile with the fact that her mother chose her well-being over truth. She questions the morality of her mother's decisions, the very decisions that have inadvertently defined her life. But as the dust settles, she begins to see the bigger picture. She comes to understand her mother's predicament, her desperate attempt to provide her child with a stable life. It's a painful realization, tinged with bitterness and acceptance. This harrowing journey of self-discovery forces her to redefine her identity, to reevaluate her relationships. It's a struggle, a journey filled with heartache, but it is one that ultimately leads to acceptance, understanding, and growth. A journey of discovery, a roller coaster of emotions, a life forever changed by a family secret.